Oh, come on. I had it all
terrible
queued up.
jingle.
Here we go.
This sounds like Lester having sex.
Rubber boots, rubber boots. 1, 2, 3, everybody get set. 4, 5, 6, are we having any fun yet? Here comes Jimmy with the Rubber Boots Pod, presented by BedSafe.net. It's 100% free. No gimmicks, no strings, just free. We'll talk about life and a little sports. Now you know we're gonna play some games. But if nothing else, you know you're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh. This is the podcast. This is the podcast. This is the pod.
Now, Stoff, if you put the grooving that we just did onto the debut of our YouTube channel coverage of the Rubber Boots Pod,
BedSafe.net.
we may lose anyone who ever subscribes. I mean, Lester had it going pretty good. Puffy had the rhythm. I don't think the four of us together looked so
I guess we'll see.
There's probably a song out there that you could have found the rhythm for us.
Brooksy's trying to keep the dogs out.
I guess that's what I'm saying, Brooksy.
She put a giant, one of those workout mats in front of my door.
Yeah.
And the dog just like ran at it and climbed it in one leap. And heroically, could you shut that? Thank you. First, let's say welcome to season 6 of the pod, because we are, even though it is not, usually we start our seasons in September. Because of our brand new sponsor,
BedSafe.net.
BedSafe.net, we decided to rebrand, relaunch, and start a whole new season. Season 6. This is it. It has begun. If you're new to the BedSafe.net Rubber Boots Pod, I'm James. It's my friend. If you're watching on YouTube, because it's visual now, it's Puffy, and there's Lester, the handsome hunk of a man. And also another handsome hunk of a man, that's Stoff, who runs the show here. So you are, just so we know this right off the top, Stoff. So people, our YouTube channel, what is it called? Like, how do people find it? They enter in the search bar on the YouTube and they write Rubber Boots and boom, we
Rubber
pop
Boots
up.
Podcast, and it'll be right there. It will be live this Thursday as this podcast is out. And I'll tell you, I've already been loading a lot of the old episodes in as the past week has gone on. And so technically we're not live, but the sex bots are already commenting on some of our videos. So it's a very exciting time for the Rubber Boots Podcast.
That might have been because of me.
I was about to say I would expect Puffy's getting a lot of the attention.
Yeah. They are our most loyal followers.
100%.
Speaking of which, I have. Are you guys getting the Tinder ads popping up on your Twitter feed?
No.
Okay, I'm getting them all the time, and I thought, Lester, if any Tinder ads would pop up on a feed, it would be Lester McLean. Why am I getting all the Tinder feeds? What are they trying to tell me?
I think they're saying it's time to maybe mix it up.
Time to move it. Time to move on.
Add something new to the relationship.
Maybe they're hearing all these rumors about the handbags.
Yeah. Get one of those bowls for the keys.
New one, Lester. Little Christian Dior acquisition this week.
Oh,
well done.
Brooksy got some. Brooksy's dad still gives her money for Christmas, like when we were little kids, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
So, but he gave her a couple of grand or something like that, and like he gives it to her in cash. He's an old school guy.
That's awesome.
And then Brooksy's decided that I needed to pay her. So Brooksy does work for my corporation.
Yes.
Does some stuff for me, but now during the pandemic, I had to lay her off. I had to furlough her.
That would have been a tough conversation.
Yeah.
Did she get severance?
No, she's still around to be brought back when things pick up again. And so, but she demanded to be paid. So I had to actually go to the bank machine the other day and get her $1,000 and say, "Here, Brooksy, this is your January paycheck or whatever."
Nice.
So she saved up money and she
So all we have to do is ask? Is that what you're saying? Just kidding.
So, boys, two things. First of all, this is a tempest outside. Do not leave your house. Do not leave your house anyway, but definitely do not leave your house today. We're recording this on Tuesday, as we will per normal. You're probably listening sometime between Thursday and Sunday. I had to go all the way downtown in the story that I will get to momentarily. It's one of the worst driving days.
Really?
That I can remember, over the last, few years. I'm not going to say ever because I'm not into hyperbole, but it was bad out there. Thank you. Thankfully, I have a Ford.
From the Calpine Ford.
They're minutes from the 407, are they not?
The 407?
I would say the Calpine Ford today is many minutes north of the 407 at the pace that I was driving home on the Don Valley Parkway. So all of my canine nightmares that I have described over the first 5 seasons of this pod have all come to fruition all at once. Today, I had to take all 3 dogs down to the big vet clinic in Toronto. We have the vets up here in the north, but the specialists are all downtown. Buddha, the blind dog.
Yes.
So he actually can see, we've found out today, out of one of his eyes a little bit. But the other eye...
He's been playing you all this time?
No. We knew he could see.
Lying mother. I'm just kidding.
You injured Hugo on purpose.
If I do this, I could get more treats. But he did have issues. Like, I think he has maybe 50% vision out of the one eye, but the other eye is completely gone, and it's been gone for a while. But now it's started to. You ever see like the blind guys sometimes in movies? They'll make them like a horror movie or a villain character, and the eye is it looks horrific. Like
it goes like white and stuff.
It's got white and cloudy. So that's what his eye. It's gone like this blue sort of white color, and it looks awful, and it's kind of bulging out a little bit. And so, did I mention this a couple of weeks ago that we're worried the eye's just going to pop out someday? Because
you didn't mention it, but that sounds like it could happen.
I don't even know if that can happen but we were talking to the vet today, and they said it could rupture. And I'm like, well, what the hell does that mean? What does it mean rupture? The eye just blows up? Because I've seen Stephen King movies, and they said, oh no, not necessarily, but we don't want to rupture the eye. So I got 2 options. We can medically try to bring the eye back, which means they gave us today, I'm not kidding, like 8 different eye drops that we have to administer every hour of every day, basically, to try to bring not the eye back to sight, but to make it so it won't blow up and fall out.
Reduce the swelling. It's probably an antibiotic, right?
Right, antibiotics and all sorts of things. And the other thing we could do is take the eye out. Where you take the eye, you don't just pull it out. You have the operation, the eye goes out, and then they sew the eye shut.
Oh, no, you don't want to do that.
Well, but that might be the only thing that brings him comfort. So that's probably what we're going to do.
Really?
So is he in pain because of the eye?
They say no, because that was my number one question, right? I say whatever will bring him the less pain. I don't care if he looks a little weird, if he's got, maybe we'll put a pirate patch over his
pirate patch.
Sorry, but the eye you're talking about right now, is that the one he still has some vision in?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay,
that eye.
Okay.
I'm talking about the bad eye. So I'm talking to the doctor, and you can't go into the vet. So you sit in the car, you drop the dog off like everything else. They tell you when the dog's ready. They call you. And they're like, okay, so we have all these eye things for you. And I said, yeah, how much is that going to be? And they go, it's $600. And I said, okay. And how long is that going to last? Oh, it'll last about 2 weeks. And so do I have to keep doing this like for as long as Buddha's alive? Yeah, probably. I mean, we hope it will go away at some point. But and what about taking the eye out? Yeah, that's $3,500 to $4,000.
Oh my God.
So Buddha, just to recap Buddha's life, when he was young, he had elongated palate, they call it. So they had to elongate his palate because with those dogs, the Frenchies and the Bostons, they're basically their whole shrinks and they can't breathe well. So that was $2,500, maybe $3,000. I think that was $3,000. And then when he started to go blind, he was still a young dog. He was 4 or 5 years old. So we take it to the one eye surgeon in Toronto. He's like, yeah, I think I can bring him back to. Yeah, $5,000. $5,000. 2 months after the surgery, he's still banging into walls. Yeah, surgery didn't work. So the surgery didn't work. It's not like there's no money back guarantees
No money back
in dog eye surgery. So that's $8,000. $8,000 past it. So now to get the eye out of the, so he's the most expensive dog ever. That's what we call him. But we love him to death. So you do what you can for your dog. Willow, she's the fat Frenchie.
Yeah.
She started to lose control of her back legs. So, so it's kind of funny. She still can get around and stuff. She can't climb stairs and everything, but when she runs, she just runs. Her back legs, it's comical, are going in every direction, right? She kind of hops like a rabbit. So they're like, yeah, she either has a herniated disc, reasonable, or she has some sort of tumor that's growing. So I'm like, well, how do we find out? Well, you got to have MRIs and such. Okay, how much would that be? That'll be $4,000.
What?
I'm not kidding.
This is in one visit today?
This is today. So I'm like, okay, so what? And if you find a tumor or something that you can operate on to fix it, yeah, that'll be $5,000. So it's going to be $9,000. And I go, but it could just be a herniated disc, right? So I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to try and take care of Willow as much as we can. If something goes wrong, if this tumor starts to grow, hopefully it's a herniated disc, we'll move on. But now I'm going to be faced with the proposition at some point in time, if she continues to deteriorate.
Yeah.
Man.
But if it's a herniated disc, are you going to have to put ramps in your house so that she can get up there?
Yeah, remember what was the movie, the dog, was
wheels.
the Jennifer Lopez movie that had the wheel, the dog with the back wheels, which I think was a Boston or a Frenchie. I think it was a Boston. So I can't, I love my dogs.
Stair lifts.
I don't want them to be in pain, but I can't be spending $20,000 on my dogs. This is, by the way, not mentioning Hugo, the dog with the broken leg.
Yes.
He healed quite well.
Caused by Buddha, right?
Caused by Buddha, making him even more so the more expensive because he's the one that caused all the vents.
Right? So
no, I don't share this to bring any pain into your lives, everybody. This is the season debut of season 6. I mean, we want to make it happy. I'm just I'm looking for advice as to, I have 3 beautiful dogs who I love dearly and my family loves dearly, but Jimmy can't work till he's 97.
Paying doggy bills.
Take care of the pups.
You're the face of the network.
Puppy's saying. Puppy's like, it's old Yeller time.
Old Yeller time. Find a new pumpkin.
You can't do that.
You
can't do that.
You guys gotta stop buying the dogs that have problems. Like that are they're born with problems. You guys get the ones that they don't breathe properly.
The flip side of that is if Jimmy doesn't buy those dogs, some other family will that won't be able to afford to take care of them.
That's true.
So Jimmy should buy the most troublesome dogs.
A lot of people write me because I talk about my Frenchies and all the posts on Instagram. They're beautiful dogs, but you do have to go in knowing that they do have issues. And same with Boston Terriers.
But isn't there insurance?
Okay.
That's expensive though.
Is it? Well, for Jimmy, it's worth it.
Well, yeah.
Back when I had Tanner the Wonder Dog, who I've never talked about on this pod, who was the greatest dog ever. He was my Jack Russell. Puffy would have known of him. I don't think Lester and Stoff would have known of Tanner the
Never
Wonder
heard
Dog.
of him until that right
genius. Now. Jack Russells are the smartest dogs alive. And Tanner...
a little crazy too, no?
Completely and utterly nuts. A couple quick Tanner stories. First of all, he won a Withrow Park down in Toronto. There's a big pet thing every year, pet contest. And I taught him, he was obsessed with golf clubs. So basically he would just pick up a club and shake it, shake it, shake it. So I figured if I could tee up a golf ball, maybe 10% of the time he'd hit the golf ball. Well, that day I was working doing Sports Center. So I told Cheryl, here's what you got to do. And he won the contest. He was on the front page of the Toronto Star because she put the club down on the ground 6 feet away, picked it up, one whack, hit the golf ball 10 feet.
That's awesome.
So, also, he would dive for rocks. He was obsessed with rocks. So we'd go down to the beaches or at my cottage. And I'm talking he was just a little dog, but a rock this big, I'm probably demonstrating to the size of a grapefruit for people who are listening, not watching. And he would dive down 6 feet underwater and be down for 30 seconds getting this rock. He was insane.
Seriously.
But Tanner, where was I going with this thing? Tanner started throwing up blood or something one day, and Cheryl panicked, and so we ran him to the same vet clinic, the emergency vet clinic in Toronto, and it cost me some ridiculous amount. And I told this story back on this radio station that I used to go on that's now with the other company, and a guy called me and said, "Hey, I heard your story. I have a pet insurance company. Will you do a commercial for me?" So the very first commercial I ever did in the business was a pet insurance company. And it was the lamest commercial ever. It was literally one of those, "Hi, everybody, I'm James Duffy. You might have heard me talk about my dog, Tanner." And then sad music starts. Well, the other day, Tanner had a real mishap, and it cost me a fortune. That's why now I have pet insurance. And you hear Ted, which I got ribbed for relentlessly and justifiably by most of the people I work with. Yeah. So anyway, I did not get pet insurance. After about 2 years, I'm like, this is just ridiculous. I'm paying $50 a month. My dog's fine. Yeah. And as Stoff says, it is expensive. But if you get a dog like our dogs, it's probably. So Hugo actually has pet insurance.
Oh,
after he broke the leg, I decided.
Of course. So
the other two do not. So
just getting back to Tanner, if I said I hadn't heard of him, but maybe you did tell a story. Wasn't there a wedding you went to or something?
At James's wedding, he tore up the grass or something.
Tore up the grass. Okay, yeah. So we did hear that one. Yes.
Yeah, he was the ring bearer at the wedding, and.
Well, like, that's awesome. What's wrong with that? Come on.
Yeah, it was an outdoor wedding outside of Ottawa, and my sister Christy made him a tux and put a little hole for the ring, and he walked up the aisle. And it always feels, at the time when you don't have kids, you're in love with your dog. Your dog's your child.
Yes, no, it's true.
And then look in retrospect, but he destroyed the lawn at the. We got up in the morning because we stayed over. There was a few cabins at this place where we got married. And we got up in the morning and I didn't see the lawn that was completely destroyed. And we hightailed our asses out of there. I had my deposit back. I was gone. So anyway, that was expensive dog talk. Should I do like GoFundMe, or do you think people would take that the wrong way because I'm highly priced banker?
They might take it the wrong way.
Might take it the wrong way at this point,
Maybe. In these hard times during the pandemic, James could really use a hand.
Hey, listen, you never know. Quite frankly,
do you think our friends at betsafe.net, instead of sponsoring the pod, would sponsor the surgeries required for my dog? And so, I would tattoo betsafe.net on the backs of my dogs or the abdomens, and then oh man. Anyway, I'm screwed basically is what I'm getting at here. Why don't we do our first official installment of Puffy's Props, brought to you by betsafe.net, our hot new segment. A lot of people are talking about it, Puffy.
It's got a buzz.
And by a lot, I mean my son asked me about it last night, and a lot of people online are talking about Puffy's Props. So the idea
Jared has the pulse of young Canada. He knows.
Oh, he does. He does. I got to tell you another story. Remind me later to talk about stocks, because Jared is he's getting in, really intrigued with the finance world. He's taking marketing at Guelph. But you guys know the story of this GameStop stock?
No.
GameStop.
I'll tell it quickly right now. Do you know the company GameStop?
Yeah, the store,
it's like
right?
EB Games sort of thing.
Okay, yeah, EB Games, yeah.
I'll try to explain this properly because we're not stock geniuses here. But essentially, the stock has been relishing, I don't know what it was, $4, $10 or something for years.
Yeah.
But there is a Reddit, which I don't go on Reddit much, but Reddit, there is a group on Reddit.
We're huge on Reddit.
We're massive on Reddit.
Rubber Boots, huge on Reddit.
Massive, man, massive.
Is part of our relaunch that we're now on Reddit as well?
Absolutely. We're all over the Reddit.
So I'll say this loosely, right? Somebody who's involved in finance will probably correct me, but I'll try to do it layman terms. There's about 16 or 1,800 stockbrokers, basically, on this one Reddit chat.
Okay.
And one of them goes on and says, this is a few months ago, that he believes this GameStop is undervalued. It's got a new CEO. It should be doing better. So they start buying it. Then they figure, have you ever seen the movie The Big Short?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know the idea? I'm gonna explain this to you real fast and try not to lose our listeners. But basically shorting means you borrow a stock off someone thinking the price will go low. Now, borrowing doesn't mean, Puffy, can I have your 10 shares? You just do it in the market, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I started the story, and now I'm going to realize it's too complicated. But Jared dumbed it down for me. Let's say you have 5 bananas, and they cost $10.
Yeah.
One ape on the market has 5 bananas. The snake asks to borrow 5 bananas for a bit and sells the 5 bananas, thinking the price will go down. That's called shorting. So then he buys them back for less, gives them back for the bananas, gets more money back. Does that make sense? Makes profit on the difference, the snake? You didn't get that?
Basically, what you've just said, that we talked about this, Stoff suggested we talk about 80s movies. That's basically what happens at the end of trading places with the orange crops. That's what the Dukes were trying to do.
Hey, the Dukes are trying to corner the market.
They know something. I can feel it.
Let's get in on it.
Right.
They're trying to short the market.
You borrow the bananas, thinking the price will go down. Then you buy 5 more bananas when the prices are down. Then you give your bananas back at the original price, essentially, and you've made all that money.
How do you give the bananas back at the original price?
Okay. You don't give the bananas back. You buy the bananas. Bananas are yours.
Won't they go bad? Won't they go bad after all this time? They'll be brown by the end.
Why does the snake want bananas? Why does the snake want bananas?
Yeah, don't trust.
I never understood the shorting.
I think it's about calls. So you're calling a price.
South Darn in April at 142.
We'll have a stock expert on. Eric Stone Street. He probably knows a lot about stocks.
In all seriousness, we could probably get somebody from BNN to come on and explain it for us.
Right.
Our sister network.
I'm doing a horrible job.
They'll reach out to us once they see this segment.
Just Puffy, all you need to know is that you can borrow stocks at a certain price on the market. You can. It's
that all the time.
Well, because you could lose if it goes the opposite way or whatever, right? So, but the idea when you're shorting is that you think the price will go down. You buy you buy your 5 bananas when the price goes down. You give the other bananas back at the same price, and now you've made money, right?
But why do you need to do the original bananas? Why don't you just buy it when it goes cheaper?
Because you're trying to manipulate the market. You're
trying to help bring it down?
That's exactly what you're doing. You're driving the price down, was what you're doing.
Okay. So
this has gone much better than our car talk from last week.
So basically these hedge funds and all these things own all this stock. They own a lot of stock anyway, but let's say they own all the stock for this company GameStop, okay?
Yeah.
So basically all these stockbrokers on Reddit, they get together and go, what if a group of apes noticed that, hold on a second, what stupid snakes are doing and decide to buy all the bananas on the market until the snakes have no other choice than to buy from the group of apes in order to return what they borrow. Okay, I've lost everybody. Here's the bottom line. All these guys got together and they bought everything. And so the stock price went crazy and all the hedge funds were screwed. They have to keep buying. I don't know what happened. Anyway, the price went from like $4 to $160 or something like that. And it went from $10 to like $160 in like a week or something.
Wow.
So
but that's inflated, right?
The one guy that led the charge on this put in 50 grand or whatever. And I think it was worth 25 million yesterday or something like that.
Wow.
But without explaining the details, because clearly I made a mess of this, 1,600 stock guys basically said, screw you to the hedge funds and totally controlled this entire company and manipulated the stock price way higher, which has nothing really to do with the value of the company.
Yeah.
And
I think we should do that with like Apple.
The 4 of us.
4 of us.
Get our gold bars together.
They've also moved. The same group are the people that have moved BlackBerry. Like the BlackBerry has doubled in the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
So basically you have this group of people on Reddit who are completely changing stock values. Nokia is the one that they're doing right now. It's all this stuff like Nokia. Who's thought about Nokia in forever? And now they. Anyway,
I think we need to join up with these guys. We put our knowledge and with their knowledge, and we start making some money.
We should buy Enron and bring that back.
Exactly. Or what was the one in Ottawa? The tech company that was
Nortel
super valued in that.
Oh, Nortel.
Nortel.
Yeah.
One of my high school buddies worked for Nortel, and it was I said, like, he was doing really well, like before most of us were doing really well, and he said, "Oh, I'm taking all my bonuses in stock. I'm just taking stock." And then it went from whatever to whatever, and yeah.
Quick story about Nortel. There was a guy that worked at TSN in sales for the longest time. Great dude. I still keep in touch with him, but his nickname was Nortel for one reason and one reason only. So they're at a bar one night, and all these ladies are coming up and giving him, all props and everything. And the legend of this guy is growing throughout the course of the night because he's some big shot, right? But it turns out like these girls just look at him like they're talking to the other guys at the table later on. They're like, "Oh, he's great. He's our buddy. He's our best friend." And his stock dropped. So that's why they called him Nortel.
Oh,
very nice.
That's a good. That's a good nickname. Puffy would be GameStop because his stock is just going through the roof
on the rise
now.
On the rise.
No one can believe it.
Okay, so Puffy's prop. And it's clearly manipulation because he doesn't deserve it. Are you the snake?
You look really hurt there for a second, Puff.
I am. I can fake looking hurt pretty good.
I'm still trying to figure out, Puffy, if you were the banana, the snake, or the ape.
I'm definitely the one that's losing.
Props.
Brought to you by BetSafe.net.
So Puffy will give us a prop, and we will. How did it go last week, Stoff? First of all, Puffy's props.
Oh, well, last week we had an epic, and I mean epic, showdown between our listeners on the Instagram. So, I mean, the one thing you guys want to do as our listeners is head over for this particular segment to either YouTube or Instagram, because we'll be posting these as standalones, and you can sound off below. And this week we had a serious showdown between two of our listeners. John Allen went up against Reggie Matthew. As you guys remember, our question last week was, would the young guns outscore the old vets in throwing touchdowns?
No, wait a second. John Allen or Reggie Matthew, are they Russian bots or are they real humans?
No, these are the non-sex bots.
Yeah.
I went through all of them.
Okay.
So this was our first matchup, and Reggie Matthew, congratulations, you are our winner as the old vets, and that being Brady and Rodgers outscored Mahomes and Allen 6-5 in passing touchdowns. Big win for Reggie. He receives 10 gold bars.
I don't know if the guys at BetSafe.net promised to supply us with the gold bars to go to the winners of. But hey, why not? They're in. Well, that's exciting. I'd forgotten about the bet like halfway through the fourth quarter because I kind of thought it was over, but it got that close, right? 6-5.
Yeah, it was a pretty good prop.
Well, it was a very good prop. Listen, I took the young guns, and I'm happy that it was as close as it was. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Lester, we didn't qualify the rules. The guy who loses the prop bet is fired. Eliminate Lester from the screen.
I told you.
Knock him out.
Hey, I foreshadowed this last week, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you did. You were funny this week on group text, though. You redeemed yourself.
Yes. Was I? Okay.
Oh, yeah. You get way more laughs on group text than we actually give you on the podcast. Okay, so this week's edition of Puffy's Props brought to you by BetSafe.net. What are you throwing at us, Puff?
So this is going to be a hockey one with the All-Canadian division. People are saying Montreal and Toronto are going to be the class. So my prop bet is which will the Eastern teams or the Western teams combine for more points? And because there's 4 Western teams, I'm setting the line at 44.5 points.
44.5. Sorry, you're basically adding a fourth team at 44 points, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, because you figure so Montreal and Toronto will be if they're first and second. Okay. So that's hard to do the math on. So with 56 game season, Stop, help us out here. What have you figured out?
Well, I just did 3 of my own different projections, and the average I came out with was -50. So I would take the Western teams because I think they would beat them by 50 points at least. Okay. So I will take the -44.5.
Okay.
I think in the end, it's going to come down to, I guess, who has a better season than expected, Vancouver or Ottawa, probably.
Yeah.
Because it just depends on those two.
Vancouver's going to have a better. I'll tell you right. Vancouver's going to have
better.
A better season than Ottawa.
I just mean, can Ottawa eat away at Vancouver's totals a little bit? Right. I think they'll finish behind them, but I think it just all depends on how many points Ottawa can put up.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good right now. But I still think they'll get going. They'll get going a little bit. Okay, so I will take. What are you taking, Lester? I'll go out. What are you taking, Puffy? Do we bet on Puffy's props, or is it just the 3 of us? No, you. I guess you bet.
Yeah, I'm going to take the East.
You're going to take the East? Okay. Lester?
I'm going to listen. I got to go with my Montreal Canadiens. I think they're, by the way, they're playing real great right now. Best team I've seen in a long time, and I'm talking like 10, 15 years.
The best team or the best Habs team?
The best Habs team. The best Habs team. I think. Sorry, thank you for that clarification. No, I think they're built. They're quite frankly, I do think they're cup built at this point. I do.
Yeah, they look really good. They look really cup built strong, but that's
it's a little bit strong.
No, your final four. No, your final four though. It's not like if you think they're the best team in the Canadian division, then if you're in the final four, then you're cup built.
Yes,
right?
Well, that's very true. Sure. So I'm going to take them plus the 44. Yes.
Okay, so I'll go with Stoff, and we'll do the West. So that one, just don't let us forget, Stoff. You got to write this down. Mm-hmm. So,
I'm not going to forget.
What do you mean? When you bend your chin down like that, so you can't see your neck, you got to look like you have a super big beard. Bring your chin down a little bit first. Your beard looks like way longer. So Stoff and I are taking the West, and Puffy and I are Puffy and Lester are taking the East, and we. Okay, so we won't have a winner on that next week, but that's okay because we're going to do one other thing. My friends at betsafe.net.
Betsafe.net.
We said, why don't you guys have sort of a running competition? So every week you just pick winners or odds in 3 different games, and we'll have a tally, and at the end somebody will win like a valuable prize, and maybe like the loser will have to, whatever, do the pod naked or be fired from the pod, or have to pay Jimmy's vets bills, or
that's still a kidney,
something along those lines. So we'll have to figure out the punishment, but as per normal, we haven't figured that out yet. We'll figure it out as we go along, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll just pick 3 games a week. We'll try to pick games on the weekend or close to the weekend. I picked 3 for you this week, and again, you go to betsafe.net, you can find out some lines on games. So let's pick one hockey game, Oilers and Leafs. We won't do lines this week because we're novices. If you listen to the shorting discussion we just had. Yes, okay, we have 2. Novices. Let's face it. We have 2 gambling experts in Stoff and Puffy. We have 2 novices in Jimmy and Lester. We do the
we're
betting
not gamblers,
segment.
We're lovers.
We do the segment now on our Leafs pregame show. Mike Johnson does a segment called TSN Edge. He's very good at it.
By the way, did you ever ask him about that guitar he has in the background? Does he play that guitar, or is it just a prop? I want to know.
That's a prop for the ladies. Anybody who has a guitar in the background, I'm sure he plays a little bit, but yeah, it's worse than your love pad. Anybody who puts. First of all, MJ's the best. Second of all, anybody who puts the guitar, even if you do play the guitar in the background, like Lester should have 5 different guitars back there, plus a sax.
Well, I should do that.
It says he's got a. Oh, he does.
I believe that's 4.
And the sax is over there.
Okay, but I'm just saying they should be placed more prominently in your background than your. Instead we just see a file drawer.
All right, next week.
Yeah. Which of the 2 is the up file drawer or the second file drawer? Your love letters to Brandy.
Return to sender.
Imagine, the top file says Lester's lyrics, and you open up, there's just one paper. Hello. Hello. Hello.
By the way, did you guys see that I snuck that into the theme? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear it.
Well, no, it's the first time I got the
Okay, listen
AirPods
to it
in, but it's
again.
pretty good. You stuck a little hello in there?
Yep.
Crafty. You are crafty. Okay, sorry. So let's pick 3 games really quickly. So I got the Oilers and Leafs on Saturday night. Again, no lines this time. We'll just pick a winner. So why don't we have to have a whole season campaign, though. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to give each of you 10 gold bars.
Ooh.
Oh.
I love gold.
That makes us tied with Reggie Matthew at this point.
So once again, betsafe.net will give us each 10 gold bars. I'll have them FedEx to your house this week.
Oh, I can't wait.
You can bet as many gold bars as you want on a particular game. If you want to bet your 10 gold bars on the first game, but then if you lose, you're out, and the rest of the season isn't very good. So I wouldn't encourage that.
No, you're
so
right.
we'll try to see where we are by the end of the season. So you can bet. We'll try to do spreads where we can, lines, excuse me. So Oilers and Leafs, let's just do this one as even, okay? Right?
Okay.
Oilers and Leafs. So you can, how many gold bars do you want to bet? Soph, are you going to write all this down?
Of course.
I'm going to bet 1 gold bar on the Oilers.
Ooh. This is Saturday
night. Yeah, in Edmonton.
I'm going to bet 2 gold bars on the Leafs.
Ooh. All right.
I am going to bet 3 gold bars on the Leafs.
Woo!
I love gold.
You have 2 more games to do.
It's all right.
Stop.
I am going to go with 1 gold bar on the Leafs.
Okay. Lakers and Celtics. Now, the Lakers are better than the Celtics this year. Since we can't do half gold bars, we'll do a plus 200. Right, Puffy? That's the way we do it. So if you bet on the Lakers, if you bet 1 gold bar on the Lakers, you get 1 gold bar.
You got to bet 2 gold bars on the Lakers
to get 1 gold bar back.
1 gold bar, yeah.
Or you can
bet 1
and get half a gold bar.
I get 3 gold. Oh yeah, I guess you get 1 and get. Are we doing half gold bars?
No, we can't do that. Let's not do that.
That's
tough to cut.
It's a thick substance.
It's confusing.
But
it's 8:30, so it's in Boston, LA at Boston. I don't know about plus 200, Puffy.
Yeah, maybe not.
Did you guys see LeBron the other night?
What are the
always a factor.
The Celtics are 10-6. The Lakers are 14-4. I think that's I think we just do a pick'em game on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So
Pick'em,
so let's just make it a pick'em game. So I mean, if everyone wants to take the Lakers, that's fine for us. So I give bonus gold bars. I'm going to go 1 gold bar on the Lakers. That's it.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with you. Go with one gold bar on the Lakers, and I would say as well, as we are taping this on Tuesday, it is the anniversary of Kobe's passing. So I will say he will bring them that victory over the Celtics from above.
Well said as always.
R.I.P. Kobe.
Why are you laughing? You laughing at God? You don't laugh at God. God's laughing at you.
I don't know if Kobe's using his powers to get the Lakers a road win in January.
You can do anything with these powers. Celtics.
Let's get that Celtics W in
Let's
January.
stop it up.
I will take the Celtics with 1 gold bar.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm gonna go Lakers 3 gold bars.
3 gold? 3? Did you say 3 gold bars?
I love gold.
Redoing the basement can wait.
Finally, Arsenal versus Man United. Quick story. I went to England on an exchange in grade 8. And I liked Man United. I didn't know anything about them back then, but I just kind of liked. I picked that was going to be my football team. And the kid that I was staying with, Guy Watson, he was a Liverpool guy, and he had this blackboard in his room, and he had Liverpool written all over it. And his brother was egging me on. He said, "Erase it and write Man United." And so I did. And Guy Watson pulled me out into the garden and beat the crap out of me. That was my first fight. Oh yeah, we had a big fight. And his mom had to come out. We were rolling around in her legumes, and
you can't do that.
Yeah, like
No,
imagine
it was a
someone
big
walked
fight.
into your room, erased Clemson, and wrote Alabama over it.
Exactly.
Well, exactly.
Well,
but that's my
yeah.
alma mater.
Yeah,
That's
right.
different.
Yeah, that's true.
You didn't know any better at the time. Yeah, you don't do that.
He didn't go to Liverpool. Okay, so Puffy, help me out on this. Arsenal, Man United. Who would be the favorite in that one?
It's at Arsenal, but it would probably be Man United would be a slight favorite.
Slight favorite.
So a slight favorite. So it's good that we do even up on gold bars there, right?
Now hold on, are we
Yeah.
gonna do ties for this one? Because
Yeah,
hockey and
that's
basketball, you
because-
can get away with picking a winner.
are
Here,
draws.
a tie is up for grab.
I'll tell
Okay,
you right
so
now-
but
I'll tell you right
would you
now,
get two
I'm
gold? Go ahead.
I'm gonna pick a tie. I think it's gonna be a tie.
So I would say 2 gold bars for a tie.
Yeah.
So if you you get 2 gold bars if you get a tie.
So that'd be if you bet 1, you get 3.
No.
Yes.
You bet
Yeah.
1, you get 2.
Well,
Oh,
sorry,
yeah,
you
you
bet 1,
counted
you
your
get
one
3 back because you get your original 1
You
back.
get one black and 2. Okay, yes. So yes.
Okay, so
I'm
tie
going with
plays
tie.
double. The other 2 pay 1 each.
Wow. What are you doing, Puff? I want to listen to the expert here.
Well, with those odds, I'm going to go tie as well. 1 gold bar.
Stop. Should we all go in together on this one? Then we're we're feeling it.
I'm going Man U.
Man, you know,
One
Man
gold bar.
United.
Yeah,
Jimmy
I'm
has
gonna
the-
go. I'm going Man U. 2 gold bars.
Woo!
I love gold.
Wow.
You.
Actually, Puff, I gotta say, this
No.
is fun.
Yeah. Well, I have a prop bet. Will we be all out of gold bars by February? Yes or no?
You're gonna
I'm
have
gonna
to bet
guess-
at least 3 a week. So
Yeah, I will guess that at least 2 of us will be bankrupt by the
There's
end.
no way.
By
Mark.
Well,
Valentine's
February's next
Day.
week, right? Oh, by the end of February, I mean. Oh, okay.
So for Super Bowl week next week, we need we'll do a winner.
Yeah.
We'll do the lines on this one. So we'll do the winner with the spread, and we'll come up with 2 other prop bets. You know, the national anthem length or the coin toss or whatever.
do we
Last
want maybe
year, by the
maybe our listeners to suggest the prop bets for us?
For sure.
yeah, please
That could be a fun
write
one.
us on Instagram or write us on Twitter if you want some prop bets that we want to do in Puffy's props. We'd be happy to do that. Just quickly, last year, this is what I try to do every year. I'm not a big gambler, as I just said, but I try to get insight onto the prop bets at the Super Bowl. For instance, the length of the national anthem. So last year, I can't remember if it was Demi Lovato maybe singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl.
I believe so.
So we're outside the Super Bowl the day before, and I can hear the rehearsal.
Oh.
So I timed the national anthem. And I don't know if it was, I think it was Carlo was looking for insight. He was also looking for the color of Gatorade or whatever. But so I timed it. And
was he
it
a Browns fan at the time or a Bills fan still?
He goes with the flow, Carlo.
Yes, he
So
does.
I go, it was 4 seconds under on the over-under. So I'm like, Carlo, 4 seconds. This is a lock.
Mortgage
right?
the house.
So it gets to game day, and again, I'm assuming it was Demi. I can't remember. And it's like, in the Hey, 7 seconds over.
Wow.
Wow. Thank God you lost my number.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Oh, I know, Bobby. You would have been all over that.
I would've-
So I don't know. Then I thought to my head, I wonder if she does that on purpose, or if there's a little bit of playing around because they don't want people to
Good point.
giveaways like
That would be
that.
a smart way to
Maybe
do
a
it.
sports book's giving her a
Yeah.
cut of the
Ooh,
action.
little
Maybe
something,
so. No, cutting the action.
Yeah, 'cause they could see where the money's gone, and then they just get in her ear and say, "Let it go, girl."
By the way,
Right.
the play for this year, KC minus 11.5.
You think it's gonna be a blowout, eh?
Oh yeah.
One of
Tom's gonna
the
run out of steam.
It's unbelievable.
we'll have to come up with valuable cash prizes and punishment for whoever wins the gold bar collection at
Yes.
the end of the year, and whoever comes last. All right, or whoever's out of gold bars the fastest. Can you buy your way back in?
Yeah, I
Perhaps
think you
by,
probably
again volunteering to pay in Jimmy's bet bills. You buy your way back into the contest.
Or
Everybody
maybe
wants
you
to be
can,
on the pod.
maybe you can short a couple gold bars from someone who still has them left.
Wow.
That's right.
True.
May I suggest one, Reggie Matthew?
Right.
Right. Hey, Stoff, you got some, what's things you do, like the things I saw on Twitter and those fun things?
Absolutely. Let's get to things we saw on Twitter.
Freaky pics, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
All right, so we'll start things we saw on Twitter with a tweet from Daryl Morey, who is, I don't know if he's just the GM or if he's the president of the 76ers.
Like the president, I think, of the 76ers.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and also for years, he was the GM of the Houston Rockets. And he tweeted out after Tom Brady made his 10th Super Bowl, Tom Brady made a huge mistake winning that game. When he loses to Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, his legacy will be further tarnished. It is always better to lose before the Super Bowl than get to the Super Bowl and lose. To me, this is complete insanity, but do you guys see any validity in this?
I 100% agree with you. It is complete insanity, but the media, hey, now I'm talking like Fox News, but there's validity in that. People will see it that way and go, so what is he right now? He's 6-3 in Super Bowls?
6-3, yeah.
6-3.
They'll go 6. And I do remember when he was 4 and I think, was he 4-3? He was 4-3, was he not? And then 1-2. No, he lost to Philly in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was. It felt like at one point, like 5-2, there was a big difference between 5-2 and 4-3, and the 4-3 didn't sound that good. But it's ridiculous. Like 10 Super Bowls is if you'd gotten to 10 Super Bowls and you'd won 3, like you were 3-7 or 2-8, then maybe you could say, something to that argument. But that's just idiotic. For a guy to make 10 Super Bowls is
look, he's
mind-boggling.
My understanding is, and I think I heard this yesterday, thrown up by SportsCenter. He's now been in 18% of all the Super Bowls all time. Like, that's incredible.
Well, guys, I've covered. This will be. I'm not going to the Super Bowl this year because of the situation, so we're doing our coverage from back here. But this will be the 8th Super Bowl. I think the 9th Super Bowl I've covered and the 7th Brady Super Bowl. So my entire 2 decades of being part of the Super Bowl, it's always been freaking Brady. And Dennis Barham, who produces our Super Bowl coverage, we hate it because it's not a little bit different this year because of Tampa. It was when the Belichick factor was involved. It meant that every week I'd have to listen to a week of Belichick news conferences. But it does get tiring. Like, you want fresh storylines. Like, how many features have we done on Brady and Gronk? I must have voiced 20 of them, over the past 20 years. So, but it's remarkable what he's done. I don't know the percentages on this, but think about all the guys who start. So there's 32 teams in the league, right? I always get the NHL and NFL. So there's 32 teams in the league. And that would be, if you talk about guys who come in as starting quarterbacks, probably you can't say that only 2 of the 32 make it, because some teams will have a bunch of different starters. Like, there's like 2 of 40 quarterbacks, or 2 of, I guess if you count backups, you'd say 4 of 64 or whatever that make it to the Super Bowl. But starting quarterbacks, let's say it's like 2 of 40, right? Because there's some teams that go back and forth with starters that you could argue who the starter is. So 2 of 40 make it. So over the course of your career, an average career is probably only 4 years in the NFL. I don't know what the odds are of making it to the Super Bowl. It's probably 5% or something like that if you play a bunch of years. And to make 10 is just mind-boggling.
Listen, there's no question. Look, you know how it is. People are trying to hype things all the time and say this and say that. Look, it's amazing. That's a ridiculous statement for that guy to make. Sorry. And you asked your second follow-up question. You were asking, like, how do you feel about if you're a Sixers fan? Like, what's this guy popping off for? Well, you got enough problems in Philadelphia as a basketball fan. This guy's popping off. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think the whole thing has a lot to do with, Brady's a very, controversial figure in some ways, but he's obviously, he's not particularly liked by certain people. So I guess that one argument of the Super Bowls he didn't win is the one that gets brought up. But also in recent years, as he's won them, he's 6-3 now. It's kind of hard to, even if someone goes to the Super Bowl and wins every other one, like that's legendary.
Yeah.
I always go back to that Seattle game, though, man. Yeah, I just can't believe that. That's still, honestly, if I think about all the plays of sports and all-time in championship games, I don't understand that call. You got a guy that's called beast mode. You have 1 yard. He's been wrecking the team the whole. You throw? What are you throwing the ball for?
But that's how they did it all year. I'm a Seahawks fan, so it's like that's how they played all year. When you're expecting them to run, they threw. When they're expecting them to throw, they ran. And it worked in the first half. They got a late touchdown doing the exact opposite. They're doing that exact same thing. And then at the end, I mean,
Malcolm Butler was in the right spot.
He made a great play. He watched the film and he read what was coming, and they made a great play. Sometimes that happens. I mean, if they hand it to Marshawn Lynch and he gets stuffed, they lose. Well, everyone says they made the great call, but you still lost. They're trying to win the game. That's what they're trying to do, what they thought was the best way to win. I know people don't understand it, but Marshawn, I don't know the stats on it, but I remember that year, like he wasn't automatic from the goal line.
No, but he was just so dominant in that game. At that point, they couldn't stop him. Anyway,
the one other thing there was, what got them to that goal line play was that miracle catch.
Oh,
it was going to be like a third miracle catch that would take a Super Bowl away from Brady. So it was almost.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say, and that's the thing that warps any discussion about Super Bowl records. The other thing that's goofy is, yes, quarterback has a big part of it, but massive team game. Those two Giants wins, Brady did exactly what he had to do to win both those games.
Absolutely.
And the miracle catches on both plays. And the Philly game, that was the one that I think they, legitimately the Eagles were
better team.
They were the better team. Of course, it's Stoff's team. But Brady wasn't terrible in that game. The Eagles, they racked up some crazy numbers in that game.
But he couldn't catch the Philly special, whereas Foles could.
That's right.
So.
He couldn't.
I was just going to say that of all the Super Bowls, the Nick Foles beating him, it's going to be the one people will look back and be like, how did that
what the hell just happened?
And he still hasn't beaten him.
Is this more sports talk that we've ever done on the Rubber Boots podcast? In one Rubber Boots?
For sure.
I believe so.
Is there anything else things to do on Twitter?
Yeah, in favor of moving along, we'll skip our other sports topic. And we will now go to Chuck Schumer as he attempts to tell us what incited the riot at the Capitol or what it incited.
Make no mistake, there will be a trial, and when that trial ends, senators will have to decide if they believe Donald John Trump incited the insurrection against the United States.
In fairness, I have seen the Trump rallies and have seen some of the women that go to the Trump rallies and some of the men that go to the Trump rallies. And I do think that Orange Man did excite them.
He did.
So I don't think Chuck Schumer is inaccurate in that depiction. What else you got for us, buddy?
We have our Liam McGuire tweet of the week, which is our listener tweet of the week. Shout out to Liam.
Shout out to Liam.
And this one's from Pens Fan 7, or otherwise named Dave, and he was just commenting on our last episode saying Rooney Mara was born Patricia Rooney Mara. She dropped the Patricia for her stage name, so adding us a little more info we didn't know. Yeah. LOL, that whole segment cracked me up. So a lot of people seem to enjoy our
great comedy
research into the Rooney Mara saga.
We're at our best when we're at our dumbest.
Yeah,
I actually knew the entire Rooney Mara story, but I played dumb.
You played dumb.
Bring comedy to the segment.
I understand.
I think
you gotta dumb it down sometimes.
Our shorting stocks talk will kill them then.
Yeah, they're gonna love
barrel it. Elapse.
It's the dumbest podcast on YouTube. And we can say that.
100%.
We could never say that before. Right, Stoff?
Yes. I'll also point out one other thing. The reason I have this band banner behind me, we are also the most dangerous podcast in the world. Because as I was posting our stuff to YouTube, I've come to realize certain episodes of ours are banned in 4 different countries.
What?
You guys want to guess the countries?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to go China.
Nope.
Iran?
Ding, ding.
That's one of them.
Oh, we're banned in Iran?
We're banned in Iran.
Are we banned in Iraq then?
No.
Iraq will do the opposite of what Iran does all the time.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. That's true.
They love
Iraq's
us there.
with us, yes.
Abu Dhabi, you want to guess?
I'm going to say the Dutch.
No.
Dutch have a strange dislike for us.
Cuba?
Saudi Arabia.
Cuba?
Ding, ding.
Cuba's correct. Saudi Arabia is not. So we got Cuba and Iran so far. 2 more.
Canada?
South Korea.
Oh, Canada we're allowed in. South Korea we're allowed in.
Bad for us.
However,
That would be very bad.
North Korea.
North Korea is the 3rd one.
Ding, ding.
That's an obvious one. Do you think that the ban in North Korea came as a direct executive order from Kim Jong?
Yes.
Which Kim Jong-un is it? Kim Jong-un?
Is he still alive?
It's Eve. Yeah, he's still alive.
No.
Yeah.
He's still alive. His brother's dead, though.
Yeah.
His brother's dead. They poisoned his brother. South American country stuff or no?
No. I'll give you the last one because we'll be here guessing for a while. Syria is the last country.
Oh, Syria.
Wow.
That's BS.
That is BS.
That's BS.
So if someone
For you,
wants
Syria.
to hear our podcast from any of those 4 countries, we'll just send you an audio cassette.
Yeah, it's got to be something legal. We'll get the guys at betsafe.net.
BetSafe.net.
Pirate.
We'll do like an underground railroad of 8 tracks. Scott, can you get a few? Can you have the technology in your house on your new iMac to get an 8-track?
Oh, well, in season 6, anything's possible.
Six. They can make guns from friggin' photocopiers now. They can do anything.
Yes, 3D printers. 3D printers, you mean? Photocopiers.
That makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, something like
The
that.
context.
3D printers,
Photocopiers that fire bullets.
Exact same thing.
Playing
Same
dumb
thing.
again, right, Jimmy?
That's right. It brings the comedy every single time. I don't know how to get them. Frig, imagine if you could do that. You could make a gun from a photocopier. Freeze! Bastards. Freeze, you bastards! Okay, so is there anything else there, Stoff? Did we get everything out today? Because it's episode 1, season 6. I want to make sure that all the information's out.
Well,
as per normal, you can hear your podcasts on Spotify or Apple and all that, right?
Apple,
if you just want to hear it
YouTube
in a normal
now
way.
as well.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to please subscribe on YouTube
And like
subscribe.
everything.
We've never done this before. We've never begged and pleaded. But apparently we have to do that. So subscribe for the podcast.
We need our real listeners to outnumber the sex bots.
Yes.
Right.
That's the goal for this week. So please like, subscribe. Now I did have a new segment I wanted to do, but we can push that to next week. It's not time
What's it called?
sensitive.
What do you want to give us a little hint, a little tease, like
It's a
in
little
television we do
segment called
teases?
The More You Know, where I'm basically ripping off the NBC, The More You Know star thing.
Ding ding. Well, you've done it. You put the sound
facts.
effects in a few times before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also, Lester wanted to do a shout out to our listeners, like a shout out of the week, right, Lester?
I didn't want to do a shout out. I mean, I think that's something we should add regularly. But this week, if you don't mind, I'd like to shout out to Aiden Wong. Aiden Wong is the son of our good friend, dear friend, Ken Wong at TSN.
Kenny Wong's the best.
Yes, awesome. He's the best. But his son called me. He had a project he had to do about musicians, and we had a lovely interview on Zoom a couple weeks ago. And I just wanted to say thank you to Aiden and shout out to him and all his buddies at school. Good job.
Shout out! Kenny Wong, if any of your kids are doing a project on the stock market and how it works, shorting, just have them reach out to me or Puffy, and we'll explain with the apes and the snakes and the bananas. Steve Rabine was going to be mine of the week. I went to high school with Steve Rabine. Hadn't heard his name in a long time, but he wrote to say how much he loved the pod and that the stories I was telling, and he was the only one who understood who the pseudonyms are. He knew who. Damn it! He knew who about.
Good old from high school.
Hey, you can still beep on YouTube, right?
I'm gonna have to.
Also, Jamie Mason, who won. What was that? Did I miss something?
I said I'm gonna have to.
I said good old.
Flight school.
Just stop it. Jamie Mason, who's the one who won the second wedge by doing the great Bob Weeks video.
Hello everyone, I'm Bob Weeks, and welcome to beautiful, sunny Augusta National Golf Course. With its beautiful fairways, challenging greens, and unique tee boxes, Augusta National is truly one of golf's most beautiful destinations. As a golfer needs their bag, you need Asante. You can experience complete wealth management advice with Asante. Asante gives you confidence, like a straight drive, stellar chipping, and even has the peace of mind to leave you with nothing but perfect putting. Asante Wealth Management has all your financial needs, just like beautiful Augusta, Georgia. This is the Masters, and I am Bob Weeks.
Your legacy requires a complete solution. Asante Wealth Management. Be well advised.
Yes. He just found out that he won because he just listened to the pod. He was extremely excited.
Nice.
And so he was already writing me to ask for advice on whether he should get a 56 degree, 60 degree. I hooked him up with Nick Obrich, our good buddy from TaylorMade. So another happy listener. So basically, folks, because of our friends at betsafe.net, if you listen to the pod, you're probably going to end up with gold bars or wedges or, if nothing else, great stock advice. All right. So I thought it was a pretty good first episode. Don't you think?
Yeah.
One other thing, as people may have noticed on our Instagram and YouTube pages today, we have our Throwback Thursday clip of the day. Which
you want to roll it on here or what? You want to roll?
Yeah, we can roll it on here.
Oh, this is from season 1, episode
1.
Ooh, season 1, episode 1. We encourage people to go back. Here's what we talked about. I don't know what the clip is, but I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Hello, Canada, or wherever the hell you are. Podcast episode 1. Stop if this gets creepy, but when my kids were like 1.5 and 3 and 4, we had this thing called Daddy Bath. So
it's got creepy already.
No, is that wrong?
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, creepy really quick when you said Daddy Bath.
No, if you're I still say that occasionally.
Yeah, that's even worse.
No, but that's okay, right? With little kids,
it's okay to
But there came an age like when they got to about like 7 where it was uncomfortable.
I think it's younger than that, but you could go with 7.
I think I might have even been in the bath with like neighbors' children when they
That's
were 2.
Illegal. That's illegal. You shouldn't say that on the podcast.
No, like good friends of the family. Okay, so I think that's totally okay to have bathe with your children because we had all sorts of little fun games you'd play in there.
Totally different thing.
See, that's totally different. There's nothing I could say. No, it was fun. Okay, let's get it.
This is JD's podcast. You're listening.
Yeah, that I'm not so sure you should have played that clip.
That aged as well as I thought it would.
You know what's funny about that clip? And look, we had to have a conversation because I have to say, Jimmy, I didn't really know what podcasts were before you invited me on this thing. So you said you wanted me to do some music. You said bring your guitar. So I was playing little things behind you and stuff like that. And then you eventually had to say to me, "Yeah, Lester, don't stop playing guitar."
You were kind of playing the entire show. We had to have the week 1 pull aside, Lester. We need to talk. We think you add a lot to this podcast, but sometimes you got to shut the hell up with the guitar. Lester thought it was a movie, and he was doing a live soundtrack the entire time.
Hell of a score.
Another thing I thought we could do, Stoff suggested this. We had the big Karate Kid discussion last week. Maybe we could do like an 80s or 90s film every week and break it down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little risky business next week. Or we could get into everything that is wrong in 2021 about 16 Candles. Do we want to go there, Puffy?
Yeah, we could.
That's a 2-parter.
Yeah.
Every John Hughes movie, essentially. So you guys can write in the movies that you would like for us to dissect. You could write us
I had suggested Trading Places as well, which came up earlier in this podcast.
Yeah, and any financial advice you guys want, throw your questions at the bottom. We'll be happy to answer them.
Yes.
It's funny you mentioned that, Lester, because when my son was explaining to me the idea of shorting, I never really understood that in Trading Places. I knew they sort of got rich, but I didn't really understand what they were doing.
Yes.
Right? Because that's exactly what they did. They
right.
drove the price down, then flew it up, and then they screwed everybody. Right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So
I still don't understand shorting.
We're going to have a guest on. We're probably not going to have a guest on. When's the last guest we had? Oh, didn't we have a guest a couple weeks ago?
You know that We had like a guest, because as I've been going through these old
think we
episodes,
thought
and
about it.
putting them on YouTube, we actually had guests like into season 2, believe it or not.
Well, we
'Cause I
did.
was
Really?
always under
Every
the
week in season 1.
almost every week in season
Yeah.
1, because I was under the impression after like episode 6 we gave up on it, but we kept going for a bit.
Well, I'll tell you that I intended when we launched this podcast, not knowing what it was going to be, like we really had no clue. I thought, okay, we'll talk every week and then we'll do an interview. And then I realized that, you know, if you want to get good quality guests, it's, it's hard. It's hard to line people up and get them to do podcasts and things like that, unless they're pushing a book. If you're pushing a book, guys, I've done 197 podcasts.
Bobby Mack was on Marilyn Dennis show.
So I'm doing that show. I'm doing that show in like a week.
Nice. Like, what, you guys still pushing the book? I thought that was all a pre-Christmas thing.
Well, I don't know if they're
doing
just late
so
on
well.
it. The funny thing was they called me about a week ago and said, hey, they want you on Marilyn Dennis. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. They just want to talk about hockey season and stuff. And then Brooksy often has it on here because she'll watch the show before it. And I see Bob on there. I'm like, oh, I guess they just jumped past me and went right to the God Bob for it. But apparently they still want me. So, but they did like 5 minutes on Bobby's book. So, you know, I'm only going to sign that deal if
you get a little time.
Little book time and a couple of gold bars. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We really appreciate you. We're excited that we're back and back regularly for you every single week. We thank again the folks at betsafe.net who are helping to make this happen. And please go over and check out their site. Lots of fun, free games, completely free for you at betsafe.net. So, good week, boys. We'll see you next week on the Rubber Boots podcast. Brought to you by betsafe.net.
betsafe.net.
So we each have a million.
No, we each have 10 gold bars to start.
And 100 gold bars. 100 gold bars.
No, I'm going to keep it simple. 10 gold bars. Why do you mean
10 gold bars?
He's going to go all in regardless.
See,
right there, you distorted.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, you distorted.
You can't hit those high E's anymore, Jimmy.
Yeah.
How are ya? I got a question that I really wanna ask you. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? Oh, I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. And I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank or the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? Do you really like the dunk tank at the fair? Dunk tank.
Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight?